proceduralize it so I can do it every other time. And
Who's ever done that before? Raise your hands and then did nothing.
Exactly, right?
Okay.
So, and then you get really excited and you tell your client, like, hey, I need 2 weeks so I can make sure all of this is done. And they say, well, I want it on the market by Thursday. And then you go, cool, we'll get it on the market Thursday and we'll do this next time. So the important thing about this is really getting things proceduralized, and as you grow your business, the biggest thing on this one, Tom, is the responsible party, which I love, right?
Please explain. Actually, I have to show them something. Proceduralized. That's my new favorite word.
That's a $5 word right there.
That is a total $5 word. I want to own proceduralized.com. All right, so why is who owns this the most important part? And who sees this?
So this is an internal document. Like, this is for me and my team, right? We're the ones that are making sure everything is launched. But as you're starting out in your business right now, you may be your team, right? Everything may just say listing agent, it may say me, it may just say nobody else is going to be able to do it. But eventually, if you're proceduralizing things enough, if you have built the business enough, you can start adding people to that to help you get there, right? And eventually, as you're going through this, you may notice your name or listing agent or whatever is not really on the list, right? That's what we're all shooting for. We're shooting for the high level touches where you need to be, and then it's your admin, your marketing director, your stager, anything that is going to help you get to that listing where you are basically, kissing babies and shaking hands, right? You're smiling, you're meeting with the clients, you're talking about the high level things, the pricing, where we're gonna come in, how we're gonna market it, that kind of stuff, and then all that work is done before you even list it.
So stop for a second. Do you guys want a copy of that? Yes. So we have you're gonna get copies of all this, but I'm actually, Geoff, thinking that also should be in my listing presentation. And I would probably do it like this, guys. So make a little note, and you guys tell me, Geoff, you give me feedback. I would go in and say, everyone's going to tell you, here's the promises I'm going to make to get your home sold. What I want to show you is the last 3 sales I made on listings like yours and everything we did and who was responsible for it. That's called the reverse engineer listing presentation by my client Gary Gold. That's how we got the $200 million Beverly Hills super mansion, the Howard Hughes place, right? If you actually showed what you do in your process, this is exactly what we talked about this morning. It's process over like houses. That's what they want today. This is brilliant. Okay, what about this one? You're like, what's on the listing launch?
So, call it phases, call it stages, whatever you want to call it, right? So, the work is done before you even show up at the door, right? I almost never bring a presentation directly to a client. I want the client focusing on me, and I want to hear the story that the client wants to tell us about their home. Right? Remember this, we sell houses, sellers sell homes, buyers are buying houses. Buyers want that to be a home, but a home is more than just a house. A home is a house with memories and feelings and all that stuff, right? So if you can walk into a house where you send maybe your pre-marketing stuff, all the pretty stuff that we are supposed to be doing, prior to, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I'm going to be meeting with you tomorrow. Here's my marketing presentation. I want to be able to review this with you, answer any questions, but when I'm here tomorrow, I'm coming with a notepad, and I want to hear your story. Yes. I want you to tell me that little Timmy broke his arm in this room, but that's memories for you. Because what we do is if we're doing it the right way and we're telling the story, we're not just marketing the 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath in Summerlin. We're marketing the home that has these memories. The home that can provide these opportunities for a buyer to create these memories. So that's why we do that.
I want to stop.
Please.
Is that what you do, or is it slightly different? Just tell me out loud. So some people say slightly different. Some people didn't respond, which means you're stealing that. That's how I interpret it. Okay, for sake of time, because you're going to get this. You talk about the pre-listing coming soon strategy. Jimmy's going to cover that a lot today.
I saw a bunch of his stuff.
You did. I had a feeling. And by the way, I really do appreciate the fact that the client is my dog, Duke Ferry at 123 Port Banana Towers in Dallas, Texas. That's his personality.
Took a little over here.
I love it. So talk to us about this. You're like, master your marketing. You can't overdo it. Return the open house. Get people talking. Explain this part, because I think this is a big part of creating that buzz on a property.
Absolutely. And you just mentioned Gary V, right?
Yeah.
And We cannot create enough content.
No.
We all think, oh, we should post once a day or twice a day. You know, with the algorithms these days, chances are even people that are following you are only seeing 10, 20% of your stuff.
If that.
If that. You cannot produce enough content.
Yep.
But don't just stick it to social, right? We have to make sure we are going where all the eyeballs are. It is social. It is print. Print is not dead, right? Print is not dead.
Yep.
We got to make sure we are email marketing, right? Email marketing is still one of the cheapest ways to mass deliver a message and get open rates 40, 50, 60%. And the other thing is face-to-face, right? I think we're so, you know, we're finally beyond like the worry of COVID. And you know, people aren't knocking on enough doors. They're not inviting people enough to open houses.
Yep.
Hey, you know what? Your neighbor, we just listed your neighbor's house. I'd like to personally invite you on Saturday, right? That goes a long way.
So interesting, Chris and I were on that mastermind on Monday, and Emily from San Diego, she's like, we're back to doing Friday night open houses, 4 to 6 on every listing we have, wine and cheese for the neighbors. Is that a good listing attraction strategy? What do you guys think? I'm sorry. Is that a good idea?
Yeah.
Only if you like wine, cheese, and listings. You with me? In that order. Or 2 out of 3 isn't bad. Just say the listings. Okay, so let's go to this part. You talked about mastering your communication. There was a lot to unpack inside here. Give us some like insight on this, because then they can read this stuff when we send it to them.
Okay. So we all know the saying, defense wins championships, right?
Yes.
Offense wins listings.
Yes.
Okay? We need to be proactive with everything we do. As soon as a client asks you, hey, can you give me feedback on what's been going on in my house? You've lost the game. You've lost that opportunity. We need to be anticipating what they need. And again, if you're doing the listing launch or a checklist, there's really no anticipation anymore. You're just following your set of rules. Your team is following your set of rules for you, right? You're getting up and you're making sure every week you have a weekly report that I've got an example of. You have daily, as soon as there is feedback, you're giving the feedback and you're not holding it, you're not being gentle. Because what you're doing is you're letting that feedback be the sales spiel for you to help you with the price reduction you need.
I showed him your weekly status update. Yes.
The reason I like that, you're constantly looking at it and it's constantly got a link to reviews. And guess what? All of this is a template. My admin goes in to Showing Time and or Sentry, pulls all the data, pulls the new listings in the area. So I get to come in, I get to look at it. I'm looking at the data. What I'm doing is I'm not constructing this. I'm basically working on the last 2 paragraphs. And guess what? The last 2 paragraphs, the work is done for me because of the data up front. They can see this every single week. They know Thursdays they're getting this from me.
Yeah. And if you just gave the data to ChatGPT and explained the situation, it would write it for you. Be done real fast. All right, so back on this, I love to be on the offense, be on proactive, follow up like a pro. I don't know if you were here first thing this morning, but before the actual seminar started, I said the biggest problem you guys have is you make a sale and you lose 4. How have you solved the follow-up, the leaky bucket, all the deals falling through your fingers because you've got too many opportunities or you get focused on one?
So I think the thing we all forget is, look, we are all compensated on a transaction basis, right? That is, being in sales, we are compensated on a transaction basis. But along the line, we forget that this is a relationship business.
Yes.
Right? That's the biggest thing. Yes, we are compensated when a transaction occurs. But I was actually talking to a buddy of mine the other night, and he basically said he is paid and he earns his paycheck and he earns his commission in the 5 years between transactions. Right? The 5 years between those transactions is where he is paid. And that is, that should be an eye-opener, especially in light of everything going on.
Yes.
Especially in light with all the lawsuits. We are compensated, yes, when we transact, but we earn that money in between those transactions.
It's the mindset, if you guys can hear this, remove the word past. You just have clients. Do you guys get that?
Yes.
Like if you treat them like past clients become someone else's current client because the agent didn't follow up and nurture the relationship. This goes back to marketing 101. I'm building my tribe. I'm building my community. For sake of time, what is this?
It's an email to Duke. That's all. No. So,
Hey Duke.
So, none of us like to do it. None of us remember to do it. Some of us don't know how to do it. We need to ask for our reviews, and we need to not wait until the deal closes, right? What happens when a seller closes a house? They've got a couple things to worry about, right? They got a couple things to worry about. What happens when a buyer closes a house? I gotta pack, I gotta move, I gotta do the painting, I gotta do all this stuff. So what we've started to do is we've actually taken this, and other than closing day for both parties, the next happiest day is probably, hey, we're opening escrow because we got the offer, the offer we got, you guys are good.
Yeah.
We start hitting them then. Hey, here it is, by the way, can you please send this? I have a template, and if you love the template, I created it. If you don't love the template, Jimmy Mackin created it.
Yes.
I stole this from him when I saw it in April, and literally we put it into play right away.
Yes.
Here's why I love this. A, it's easy to read. B, as you guys can see from the slides, I tend to get wordy, so this is a little bit briefer. But here's what we're doing. We're asking them for a favor. People, whenever you start something like, hey, I got a favor to ask, and you've provided value, they're going to want to return. So number one, you're going to get a little bit better response. Number two, you're asking the questions for them. You're basically writing the review for them, which is going to help with your SEO, right?
Right.
Then you want to stress the importance. Hey, this is an important part of how I continue to feed my family, right? And then again, like I said, you're placing the emphasis on a favor. But yeah, if you look, as Tom said, if you look under the PS, those 5 questions, if they just simply don't know what to write, because a lot of people don't know, I'd love to, but I don't know what to say. Cool, answer 1, 2, 3 of these questions, that'd be awesome. That's it. So I send that before close, we send it at close if they haven't done it, and then we actually send it 14 days after close. We hit them with that basic same email 3 times at least. Now, we don't do it if they've sent it.
Yes. All right. So
Okay, that is a good looking guy, isn't it?
He is a good looking dude. All right, so your coach, every listing needs to produce triplets. I love that. Is it working?
It is working. As long as you are continuously telling the story, right? And the other thing we've always talked about, you talked about getting rid of the word past clients.
Yes.
Can we all get rid of the term just sold?
Oh my God.
Please?
Stupidest mailer ever.
Can we all get rid of that term? Can we just say, like, here's how we did it. Here's how we're going to do it again.
Yep.
Here's how our clients are happy.
Yep.
Nobody cares that you just sold anything. They want to hear the story behind Timmy and his broken arm and how this house is now with a new family that's hopefully going to become a home.
I love it. Can we give Geoff a big round of applause on that?